It's your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How's everyone doing? Sorry about that. Oh, I'm tired, per usual. I just want to apologize for last week. I was having a rough week. Not that anything bad happened or else. I was just working like 13-hour days at my regular job, so it was kind of hard to get anything done. So I want to apologize for a lot of the, not showing up and doing my show last week. I ended up like waking up to go do it, and then I'd fall back asleep. So, but whatever. So, I do apologize for that. Sorry, goddamn. If you're interested, I did some video game streaming this week. So I was playing some Assassin's Creed Mirage. So if you want to check that out, go to rumble.com/gaming with Ghost. Um, yeah. So the link is in the description. So you go ahead and check that out. So, I'm just looking. So what I want to talk about, of course, is sorry about that. Is obviously over the weekend, Israel was invaded by Hamas. It's pretty obvious at this point. That's what's been happening. It started Friday night, and it's been going on since. So we'll discuss it just a little bit. Nothing like too major. I don't really have much articles for it because it's very hard to have talked about something like this with articles because it's very hard to see um it's very hard to trust like the media and all this stuff. So honestly, I'll just give my take on it and probably just move on. But yeah. And then Hamas is evil. I'll talk about some of the things Hamas has been doing during this. And then Pence blames Trump and DeSantis for it. So we'll look at that and see what the fuck he's talking about. And then got some Trump news that we'll look into. And finally, Chicago residents are tired of Democrats, and we'll watch that. So here's something that's interesting. I'm scrolling through Twitter to just to see if there's any updates on anything. Where was I? And it turns out that the Israeli ambassador to the U.S. has now confirmed that Americans are among the hundreds being held hostage by Hamas militants in Gaza. There's no news of their status. Here's the thing, it's really like if you gone through Twitter and you looked at everything, it's kind of terrible seeing some of the things Hamas is doing. They're parading women that they killed through the streets. They're kidnapping people, holding them hostage. It's a really terrible thing that we're seeing, and we haven't seen anything like that in our today and in our lives. And I don't even think that happened in Iraq or anything like that. Um, and I could be absolutely wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Which is Um, but yeah, it's really terrible. I remember when this was going on, and I was watching the news, and there's just thousands of videos. It seemed like of Hamas terrorists going around kidnapping women, kidnapping people, holding them hostage. There's one where they're like torturing citizens, and there's a bunch of fucking idiots going on saying free Palestine, and it's really fucking annoying to watch. And then outside of the U.S., outside of Israel, I mean, there's pro Palestine. There's pro people, people in other countries, waving pro Palestine flags and everything like that. I guess they consider Palestine where the Gaza Strip and the territories where Hamas is in control Palestinians, I guess. But throughout the other countries, in the U.S., like in Washington or Florida, there is, and New York and San Francisco, there's plenty of people, uh, that are, going around, singing Palestine's praise or Hamas's praise, I guess, if you want to get real accurate with it. And they're fighting with people that are pro Israel, people that people that are pro Israel. They're clashing with them. They're fighting. And it's really terrible just to watch everything. Let's see. And it seems like Hamas is actively seeking civilians. At least that's what it seems like when we're watching what we're watching on Twitter, so, and there's a bunch of talks about all this crap, which is ridiculous. And of course, the media is not helping because all they report, it seems like, is when Israel retaliates. And I would be seeing that like Ryan Dawson, he'd go and he's like, oh, the reason that there's the reason that Hamas is doing it is because a bunch of rabbis went to some like mosque or something, and like interrupted their service or some shit like that. And I was like, I'd read that, and all right, that's pretty shitty of them to do, but they didn't kill anyone. I assumed, because it wasn't in the headline. And I assume if you're going to report something like that and they killed someone, then that's something to be concerned about. But um, sorry, hold on. Like I said, guys, I'm really tired. But that's not a good reason to go and invade a country and murder civilians, and videos of them kidnapping and torturing women. There's like a video of one woman that they've killed. They're parading her naked through the streets, or mostly naked through the streets. There's Americans that are that have been captured. There's like some there was a video of people running away after being in like a peace festival or something like that, after terrorist um, yeah, there's a video of that, people running away after a terrorist infiltrated the peace festival. And now it looks like Israel has ordered a full siege of the blockade Gaza Strip, cutting off food, fuel, and power as it pounds the Hamas controlled enclave with airstrikes. Yeah, now, at least 33 Palestinian children have been killed in Gaza Strip, which is terrible, of course. And this was, Saturday morning as Israel continues its retaliatory airstrikes. And this is terrible, but I mean, at least as far as I know, and I could be wrong about this, but it doesn't look like there's, I guess, 30 minutes ago, Israel Defense Force has recaptured land near the Gaza Strip, and that was taken over by Hamas. News comes as Israeli Defense Minister Yuval Galen has ordered the total siege on Gaza Strip. There will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals. We're acting accordingly. So what was I gonna say? Oh, and then fucking, YouTubers and shit like Aiden Rossi. He like it. Look, I saw something on like Aiden Rossi. At one point, he posts something about like pro Israel, and then he goes around and donates $1 million to Palestine. And you got Andrew Tate, and Sneeko. They're all posting free Palestine and shit like that. Which is dumb. Honestly, it's really dumb. All this is like all these people commenting are really, really dumb. Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, in Israel, with it's terrible that children are dying in innocence, but I mean, as far as I know, um, they're not. It is. Um, it wasn't an intentional killing of children and stuff. That while with Hamas, it seems like it's an intentional. We're going after innocents. Um, that's what it seems to me so far. Which doesn't make it any better. Just because they didn't intentionally go after children doesn't mean it's even better. But that seems to be the main difference. And it looks like Israel's taking this obviously extremely seriously, and they're going after people, or they're going back at Gaza and they're going full force, and it's really terrible that all this is happening. And I was watching or I saw on Twitter, Tate, he's talking about um, he's talking about how he's asking an intelligent question. Um how did Mossad, the most feared intelligent organization, miss this and everything like that? And I think he's subtly suggesting that it's a planned or Mossad is. I didn't see this like his actual comments on it. I just saw his tweets on it. And he's asking, how did Mossad, the most feared agency, miss this? And it's a good question. I think what he's missing though is the fact that it doesn't really take much for it to be it all intelligent work really is being lucky and finding something at a certain time. So the fact that they couldn't see it find out it happened just before. I mean, I'm sure there's like thousands of tunnels and going throughout the under the wall that Israel's built. um there was like video of people parasailing into a festival. It's so I it's not that hard for me to believe that um it's honestly not that hard for me to believe. Like all, in my opinion, all intelligent work, all intelligence really is just being lucky enough to find the information before they on before something happens. That's all really intelligent work really is. Um, so the fact that they weren't able to see this happening or get any indication, for all we know, they did get an indication something like this was about to happen. But the problem is generally, if you get indications, you're not going to know the exact who, what, when, where. So that's a problem that I think he's missing. Is just because you get the indication doesn't mean it's going to happen before you get a chance to do anything about it. And you don't often know when it's going to happen. You got to have time to find out, and sometimes you just can't find out. So it I can see both sides. I can see, oh, Mossad, knew this was going to happen and let it happen so they could go over and take over Gaza again. And I can also see the fact that Mossad fucked up and missed it. And, it wouldn't be surprising, after all this, the head of Mossad gets canned for missing such a, egregious thing. So we'll see what happens in the end. Um, and then I'm just looking at this tweet, and this is from Brian Cranstein. Latest update: the Israeli Palestine war by the numbers. Israeli side: 659 Israelis killed, 2,156 Israelis injured, 100 plus Israelis killed, 5,000 plus rockets struck Israeli territories. Palestinian side: 370 Palestinians killed, 2,200 Palestinians injured. So that's I'm not like fact checking this, so I don't know how accurate this stuff is. I don't know how accurate some of this other stuff is. I'm just taking it at face value. But I think this whole thing is just terrible. It looks like really that oh, sorry, my arm's killing me. It looks like that Hamas went out and just even if what Ryan Dawson said. Let's see, what did he exactly say? Let me see what he exactly said. and I think he's a really smart guy. Uh, is he like banned from Twitter now? I can't even find his fucking channel. Did he get banned from Twitter? It looks like Ryan Dawson may have been banned from Twitter. Just can't really find him, or X or whatever it's called. Which it's dumb. You shouldn't ban someone just because they're criticizing the other side. But anyway, yeah, that's basically I think it's terrible that this is all happening. And we'll see. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's not. There's for whatever reason I couldn't. Sorry, I'm just looking, trying to see. Okay. And so he says over 800 rabbis storm Al Aqsa Mosque. There's no news coverage, and he's saying that's why Hamas. That's why Hamas decided to go and invade Israel and the surrounding territories, which is dumb reasoning. They go into a mosque, and then so your response is kill innocents. And Hamas is just a terrorist group. That's all they're doing. They're killing innocent civilians, and it's just terrible. All of this whole Israeli conflict is it's just terrible. It's terrible to see. We shouldn't. So I mean, I really hope that they just. I would hope that they would go and find peace with each other and call it a day. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I wouldn't be surprised if this just ends up. Yeah, this is just going to get worse before it even gets close to being better. There's going to be a lot of people killed. And yeah, this is just all terrible. I mean, I'd look at some of the reports on Twitter and everything, and it's just terrible. Just watching innocent people being killed, and then Hamas going around and parading in the streets for it. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll keep up on it and I'll see, what's going on there, any news. But it looks like there is unconfirmed reports of Americans being held hostage. So it looks like we're gonna get dragged into this, and that's just gonna be more deaths, which is terrible. I would just hope this all ends soon and everyone goes about their day. But I don't see any way in hell that the Israel like just takes this line down there. I mean, they're already retaliating. Of course they are. But like I said, it's going to get worse. And I just hope, because Israeli has nukes, and I just hope that no nukes get involved in any of this, because that would be, the worst. All right. So I think that's it. I think I've said my piece on it. I really just looked through some more reports and updates going on. I just think I didn't really know what to say about this. I just think it's all terrible that all of this is happening. It breaks my heart seeing, these women get captured, killed, and then stripped naked and paraded through the streets by these terrorist assholes. And yeah, so all right, I'm done talking about this. I really want to be done today and just go take a nap because I'm exhausted right now, and this is upsetting to see. But this is life. Unfortunately, this is life. So we're gonna move on. Mike Pence suggests Trump, DeSantis share blame in Israeli attack for signaling retreat on the world stage. This is already a dumb fucking statement. It's his attempt to try and win some points with people who with voters. He's really desperately trying to hold on to try and get that vote, but he's really far behind. Let me see. So let's see. So as of today, Trump, here's the polls as of today. Trump's 57.8%, DeSantis is 14.7%. Vivek Ramaswamy, I knew it, is 7.3%. Haley 6.7%. Pence is 4.3%. I fucking knew it. I knew. It was so funny after the debates, the last debates. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Vivek is so he got owned, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Vivek did fine. He did perfectly well, and that's kind of proving himself. He's third place. Again, I don't think he's going to win the presidency at all, but he's doing very well." And then after all this happened, just like in Ukraine, everyone was saying, this wouldn't have happened if Trump was in charge, which is true. And I don't think Trump or DeSantis was at all shared or blame on the attack, signaling retreat on the world stage. I mean, look at fucking what Biden did, where he just basically just left a shit ton of equipment in Afghanistan. What was it, 13 American soldiers get killed during all that, and just left And then Biden just appears weak overall. So no, it's more Biden's fault than anything if you're really going to blame someone. All right, let's see what he says. Former Vice President Mike Pence blames President Biden, as well as his fellow Republicans, such as Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, for the devastating attack on Israel by Hamas over the weekend. Pence commented on the attack Sunday morning on CNN's State of the Union, when co-host Dana Bash noted that he has criticized leaders in the Republican parties for signaling American retreat as leaders of the free world as an influence. Are you talking about your former running mate? Bash asked. I am, Pence admitted, highlighting Trump along with other GOP members criticism of Ukrainian funding. Well, yeah. Why are we funding? Oh, and here's the thing. It looks like 2 weeks ago, Biden released like $6 billion to Iran, and there's talks that Iran is funding the Hamas attacks. So that's one thing. I mean, Biden's getting like this. Honestly, I think this Hamas thing might have ends up handing Trump the presidency, because a lot of people saw Trump as a strong leader. Biden's extremely weak. You looked at Trump. What war started because of with Trump in office? None. There's no wars that started when Trump was in office. So, all right, let's continue this. He later added, I also believe this is what happens when we have leading voices like Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Ron DeSantis signaling retreat from America's role as leader of the free world. What happened in Ukraine was an unprovoked invasion by Russia. What happened this week was an unprovoked invasion by Hamas into Israel. I believe now more than ever, both the debate within the Republican Party and the debate within America is whether or not we're going to once again stand without apology as the leader of the free world, as the arsenal for democracy. Okay. The heartbreaking images coming out of both of these theater of operations reminds us that America is the indispensable leader. Hold on. Sorry. Of the free world. And if I'm president of the United States, we will lead from American strength, Pence continued. GOP president hopefuls such as Pence, Trump, and Ramaswamy and DeSantis, along with Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Chris Christie, and Doug Burgum, quickly condemned the attack by Iranian-backed terror group Hamas and voiced their support for Israel. Yeah, and then you got Biden, who doesn't say shit for a while, and then you got Obama. They don't say shit for a while. It looks like the governor of New York is criticizing the Palestinians, pro-Palestinians protest, or whatever you want to call it. So there's that at least. Though Pence levied criticism against his fellow Republicans, his primary blamed the policies under Biden for paving the way. Yeah, it's absolutely Biden's fucking fault. If anything, it's not Trump's or DeSantis. Under Trump, there was no new wars that were ever started or happened. Come on. Let me begin with where we ought to start. The disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan has emboldened the enemies of freedom around the world, and now war is raging in Eastern Europe. President Joe Biden's kowtowing for the last 2.5 years to the mullahs in Iran, lifting sanctions. That was terrible. Begging them to get back into the Iran nuclear deal. dumb fucking mistake. The Iran nuclear deal was basically we gave them money, and they didn't really have to prove that they weren't working on trying to amass weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons, and then paying $6 billion in a ransom for hostage. That I think set the conditions for this unprecedented attack by Hamas against Israel. Pence said. As of Sunday, at least 1,100 people have been declared dead in the attacks, with more than 2,000 reported wounded. The number of Israeli civilians and soldiers were taken hostage is still unknown. During the attacks, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that his country is at war. So there we are. So yeah, Pence is just trying to bring down the support for Trump. Trump's, like I said, he's like way ahead of the league, and then DeSantis is way ahead, Vivek's ahead of Pence as well. Pence is way down. Pence isn't ever going to touch presidency. He got like some of the Trumpers support. During the debates, but prior to the debates, but he's not a good option. He's a terrible option. All right. So let's look at this. So CBS admits there's no evidence of Trump sharing sensitive records with Australian billionaire, as the mainstream media has been absolutely blasting him for. This is why trust in mainstream media is at an all-time low. Question everything, per Catherine Herron. Sources tell CBS that there's no indication former President Trump shared sensitive records with an Australian billionaire, plus no charges have been filed by special counsel through their alleged discussion about U.S. nuclear weapons was investigated. Let's see what this has to say.
Anthony is one of the most successful men in the world. Perhaps Australia's most successful man, as they say.
CBS News has learned that discussions between Australian billionaire Anthony Pratt and former President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago were probed by special counsel investigators after allegations that Trump may have shared potentially sensitive information about U.S. nuclear submarines. First reported by ABC News, that information may have included the number of nuclear warheads and how close U.S. submarines can get to enemy subs without detection. While some information is publicly available, former military officials tell CBS News the subs' locations are the crown jewels of U.S. national security.
It's just another example of him being careless, if not reckless, with our most sensitive secrets.
It's also alleged Pratt may have then shared the submarine information with other Australians.
Except it is like highly confidential secret.
Earlier this year, CBS News obtained an audio tape where former President Trump discussed a classified military attack plan on Iran at his New Jersey golf club.
What's the potential ripple effect for national security?
With each telling of the story, people get far less concerned about being discreet or about protecting information.
On Truth Social, Trump called the new claims, quote, false and ridiculous. The spokesman for Pratt's company did not immediately respond. Sources tell CBS News there's no indication that Trump showed Pratt sensitive records, and no charges have been brought by the special counsel. Nora.
Catherine Herridge, thank you.
All right, so there's that. Oh, I just saw something on Twitter as well. I want something to point out too. You don't see at least I haven't seen it anyways, pro-Israeli people cheering the deaths of Palestinians. I have yet to see that. I'm not saying that it's not happening. I'm just saying I have yet to see it, really. But to be fair, they didn't, go out and start it, despite what Ryan Dawson says. I don't think having 800 rabbis going into a mosque counts as I don't think that's what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think that's provocation for terrorists to invade and kill innocent civilians. I don't think that's good provocation. So I deny Ryan Dawson's Well, I don't deny that that could be the reasoning. I deny that. Well, I don't even think he said it was a good reason. Actually, never mind. Um, all he said was this was the reason why. I don't think it's a good reason. And to be fair, he didn't say that's a good reason why. He just said that's a reason. So to be fair to him, but yeah. So, but again, I haven't seen pro Israeli protests or whatever cheering the deaths of Palestinian innocents. I do see a lot of Palestinians supporters supporting the death of Israelis innocents. You hear civilians are killed, they go up and they start waving the flag, cheering for it. So I think that's the biggest difference between this whole conflict with Israel and Hamas. Again, I think it's all terrible. I think it needs to stop. I think peace needs to be granted, but I don't think, peace needs to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I would not be surprised if Israel continues until they reoccupy the Gaza Strip, and I foresee them kicking everyone out. I don't think that's a good move. Because you shouldn't kick people who didn't have anything to do with it, unless you have proof that they had something to do with all this. I don't think you should kick innocents out of their homes. But it wouldn't surprise me, is what I'm trying to say. It wouldn't surprise me if Israel goes through and takes back the Gaza Strip and then kicks Palestinians out. Of their homes. Again, terrible. That'd be a terrible thing to do. But yeah, bare minimum, they're going to retake Gaza. That's my prediction for this so far. All right. I'm sorry this is all disconjointed. I'm kind of just going with the flow when thoughts enter my mind about all this. It's really shaking me seeing women being, I guess shaking is not the correct word, but it's upsetting me. I don't think innocents at all should be targeted. It's one thing if they went after military targets and there was collateral damage and innocents and civilians got killed. That's one thing. There's no intent on specifically going after civilians. They're just caught in the crossfire. And while it's still terrible that it happened, at least their intention was we're going after purely military targets. But that's not what Hamas is doing. They're intentionally going after civilian targets, it appears, because, they know that Israel's not going to bomb their own citizenry. They may bomb their own bases, even if there's soldiers in there, but they won't bomb their civilian populations. All right. Breaking news. Appellate courts puts a stop to Judge Engoron's order to break up Donald Trump's businesses in New York. We thank the appellate division for staying the New York Attorney General and Judge Engoron's overzealous attempts to cancel our New York business certifications. Judge ordered erroneously sought to adjudicate the rights of non-party business entities that employed nearly 1,000 hardworking New Yorkers that have never been accused of any wrongdoing and were never given their day of court in clear violation of fundamental constitutional rights and due process. We will continue to vigorously defend our company and our incredible employees from this gross overreach and politically motivated persecution. Yeah, I think this is the same judge too, and I could be wrong, that without hearing any evidence, without hearing anything, really just made a direct verdict and said, hey, Mar-a-Lago's not worth this. And I think he fails to take account of when the last time that Mar-a-Lago was valued was in 2018 when Trump was presidency. So it's not hard to see that a place owned by a sitting president would have increased value of popularity. Look, something could be worth like say $1 million. All right. But then you have a famous movie person that moves in and that shit gets bumped up to like, ridiculous amounts because someone famous lived there. It's the same thing with Trump. He owns a place. Okay. He becomes president. That shit instantly increases in value just due to the celebrity status of, hey, I own something that was once owned by a sitting president. That's all that is. So, and I think that's the same judge, but I could be wrong. I don't know. All right, finally, we're coming to the end of it. Chicago resident goes off on Democratic leadership for allowing migrants to come in and ruin their community. This guy gets it. Brandon Johnson and Democrats are criminals. We're going to sue the bosses and sue the Democrats as civilians because they're supposed to represent the people they voted for. Supposed to represent the people they vote. No. Okay. I think this is actually meant to be. They're supposed to represent the people that voted for them. Don't let Democrats have their stupid convention here. Enough is enough. All I see is citizens of Chicago marching to their death chambers. Since August of last year, 1,700 migrants have entered the city of Chicago, costing $32 million in aid. All right, let's see what this guy has to say.
We're going to sue these bosses. We're going to sue these Democrats as civilians because those the agents represent the people they voted for. The agents. I'm a sports agent. If I don't have represent my clients, they fire me. Yeah. It's time to fire. Don't let the Democrats have that stupid convention here next year. Enough's enough. All I see, right, is the citizens of Chicago marching to the gas chamber. Ever since these scumbags came across the border. Right? That's illegal. Right now, Brendan.
Okay. He's very upset. Hey, I mean, it doesn't surprise me people are angry. You're seeing that happen in New York right now. People are getting pissed off. There's so many migrants going in, but they were perfectly fine with it when, they weren't being affected. So, all right. So there we go. You've heard my exhausted talks about Israel and all this. Hold on a second. This is not. Oh my fucking god! This wasn't even uploaded to Rumble. Fuck. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I forgot to. I did this. All right. Well, I guess I'll just have to upload this as a video. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't do my destination. That's why. I just wanted. That's how tired I was. All right. So I'm going to end this, and then I'm going to upload this to Rumble and YouTube again, because I don't really get much live views, but sometimes I'll get some videos on Rumble. Anyways, make sure you follow me at officialwghost on X. Follow me, rumble.com/withghost, and with Ghost on YouTube. Follow my gaming channel, Gaming with Ghost. That's rumble.com/gaming with Ghost. And kick. The links to my Rumble channels are in the description. Check out Coffee Brain Coffee. I hope you have a good day. Peace out. See you later.